Then maybe.
That's true. Then it should go hand in hand.
Yeah, then you might be a little bit
Hi
caught.
there, you guys. Happy Friday. Welcome to Bead with me. I'm Kay, your host from Stars Beads. I have another little bit of a live audience and people coming through. So pardon my tardiness again today. When it's just a one-woman show here, it gets to be a little time-consuming trying to do those video chats, trying to check out people, trying to show you guys things, and get those projects ready so that I can come online to hang out with you guys. But I'm excited. So yesterday, we had done this bracelet, and I was thinking that I had forgotten to show the different ways you could end it, and that also kind of shows you all the different clasps that we've been talking about. So today I was wearing one of my favorites here. This is a Stars Clasps. I don't know. We probably made this 10, 15 years ago. But this is since we were buying buttons last week, this is a vintage glass button from the Czech Republic that was hand painted, and then we set it in sterling. Okay, so it is my closure. You can see it up close, and I put mine with pearls. Okay, for those of you guys that know me, I might be small and petite, but I tend to like my jewelry pretty sparkly, pretty big, and pretty loud, but simple. So I have the chain and leather bracelets with me, so I thought I'd go over those really quick about some of the different clasps you can use to end it, and then I thought we would do a little project and having a Stars clasps inspired. Sometimes it's the beads that inspire you, and sometimes it's the clasp that might inspire you. Maybe the pendant. It can be a variety of parts that really get you motivated. Okay, that's what keeps our brains going, all the colors, all the textures, and just playing, which is why I like to kind of incorporate you guys so you can have a little fun in the process as I get to play and see what you guys like too. Okay, so reminder, this is what we made. Sorry if you guys hear buzzing and stuff. I think it's like my phone. I gotta get that worked out. Okay, so this is what we made yesterday. If you guys missed it, you can certainly catch the replay. So this is the leather and chain bracelet. This is the one that's mine, and this is the one we made yesterday with some of the leftovers. All right, for all of those that were talking to me about those bubble beads, okay, they are coming. I've got them in the works. Okay, I've got a lot of things in store for you guys, so you guys keep watching and hanging out with me. All right, I'm going to flip this around so that we can kind of show off the endings. Made a mess here and haven't cleaned it up. All right, so let me show you guys here. All right, so this is the one I was wearing. Okay, and you can see on this style design, I have put a box clasp. Okay, remember the box clasp? I've put an abalone one on mine. See, it has kind of the pretty colors. Kind of, remember I was telling you yesterday, I think it kind of matches that awesome nail polish I got, right? Okay, so when we did yesterday's, we condensed down, taking jump rings right down into the clasp. Okay, this is using a box clasp. And so yesterday's, we put on a little pearl one. I'm sorry, that's a mother of pearl, so that's a shell. Gonna see if it fits you, Steve.
Do you want to try it on?
Oh, it's gonna be close. We can add rings to make it long enough. Nice. Okay, so that was another box clasp. But the other day I had shown you guys also that you could attach it to a tube style clasp. Oh, there's a jump ring magnetized to it. I was wondering. I found that I like the magnetic, but the tube style is super, super secure, but I found sometimes it could be hard for me to get it on and off my bracelet. But that's why magnetic actually, in terms of if you want to use this style, because it doesn't take up as much space on your bracelet for the width, then the magnetic ones are nice. Once they slide in, they'll just snap shut. I don't know if you can hear that. Okay, then we did a style here. This was using those 4mm cubes. And then this we condensed down the same way like we were using the box clasp, but we attached a toggle.
Where are your fancy clasps?
Front and lower in case. Oh, I took the boxes home. And then, let's see. Oh, and then here's one done with pearls.
Pretty.
Okay, so if you guys want me to pick out your own custom combination, I'm happy to do that. We can do big hole pearls. We can do big hole, let's see, this one was pearl too. We can also do big hole stone. When the bubble beads come in, we can do bubble beads. We can do 4mm cubes. Okay. We could also do the whole thing smaller, so we can do tinier chain with those 4mm cubes. Okay, so this one was done with a magnetic clasp. Okay, again, the idea is the same. Okay, you can attach literally any style of clasp that fits your fancy. I will tell you though, this bigger style, even with this nice jumbo, it does hold well, but if it does get caught on something, then, you know. But that's what I have told you a couple days when we were kind of going over all the different type of magnetic or all the different types of clasps, that every clasp does have a weakness. You know, you'll find that some are, you know, better for your type of activities that you do on a regular basis. So you just have to be thoughtful. All right, guys. So let's see. Oh, there was one more way to end this. We had also done this style of chain. This was a little bit bigger, and this was a style of chain that if you were going to use beads that were bigger than about an 8mm is what we used on these ones here. If you're using closer to a 10mm, then this chain works nicely with that. In this style, we didn't put any beads in there. Instead, we allowed the chain to speak for itself. And then the way that we ended this is that we crossed through the end and then came back through the last link of chain here. Okay, if you want to see that closely. Is this upside down? Kind of upside down, I guess. Okay, now, although this is, you know, an easy way to close this, I find that if it's not super snug, then over time you may find that it can pull just a little bit. Okay, but you know, I wore it on me and I didn't find that it was pulling, but it was a little bit loose. Okay. All right, do you guys think we should make a little something? I was looking at clasps, and sometimes I get inspired by the clasp, and there's this new one that John had designed, and I was looking at it up here, and I thought maybe you guys can help me decide. Okay, so here, I don't know if you guys were with me the last couple of days, but these are some of Star's clasps that I've been using. And, oh, this is the one that has really been striking me. I really like it. What do you guys think? If anybody has a choice, I am open. Oh, this I was also looking at this ginkgo leaf. This comes in a gold and a silver. But this beautiful ginkgo leaf, it's a toggle. So you see that bar, it lays beautifully flat right here. So I really like the ginkgo leaf. So these obviously they're large. You can see that I don't have a coin here next to me, but you know, in my fingers, you know, you're looking at a good size. So we know that my button that I'm wearing is an 18mm. So this clasp is pretty big, maybe like 27mm if you're looking from the edge. Okay, so all right, anybody have a? That was the first one that grabbed your eye, huh, Barb? All right, this one. Okay, let's make that one. All right, so now I was kind of cruising around and I was messing around. I really like these pearls. What do you think about it? So for me, I kind of like, you know, to be able to wear things in the center here. Like, wouldn't that look gorgeous? You know, and simplicity speaks. I thought actually this gold ginkgo leaf would also look good. But I have a hard time deciding, right? Okay, so I also liked, what do you think of, you know, I'm a stone person. So I like this moonstone too, and I thought if we put some little silver spacers in there and have that as that like centerpiece. Anybody have opinions? All right, we could use, yeah, you can, hey Eliha, it's good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. Yeah, you can buy a few of the starter kits. We can do a video chat with you, and you can pick some up. Oh, we're getting votes. We like the ginkgo leaf. Oh, I've had a couple votes on the ginkgo leaf. Oh, what about the ginkgo leaf in gold or in silver? Carol, like the ginkgo leaf. You like gold?
Of course.
Oh, of course you do. We got a vote here for gold. All right, pearls with the, because we could use like other stuff. I was just like cruising around here. Couldn't decide. I was, so this is like what you guys do at your house, right? So like, okay, so I'm inspired by that. And then, you know, we can walk around and say, all right, you know, I used that the other day and that would look good. But we know we like that color. All right, I already used that. We say I ran out of that in my stash. But I think turquoise would look awesome with it too. No, it's like, depends on what your colors are, right? You guys know me, I'm jewel tone. Too much silver, right? Hey Charles, now good to see you now online. Or you see, but I'm just kind of showing you class with lots of different styles of stuff. So we're going from stone, we're going from pearl, here we're going to wood. Okay, so this is part of the process. Oftentimes when we are designing jewelry, it's hard to decide. So this is what you're paying artisans for. That's what they're paying you to do, okay? So oftentimes, don't be sorry for your prices. Okay, you're making beautiful jewelry. See, I used those pearls the other week. I like those. Pearls would be pretty. All right, we're going with pearls, and we're going with a gold ginkgo. I think is the. Hi, Patty. It's so nice to have you here. I'm glad that you have found us. We like to play a little bit and be interactive. Our group has just decided that we're going for these pearls and this clasp. What do we think? I think we can make that up pretty quickly. And you know, I think that the only other things we're going to need today, then I will maybe do I'll make sure we get the wire guards today. We will and do the crimps. Okay. All right, we'll go over a couple little things. Wire guards. All right, we'll have to do bright gold here. That's all right. All right, you guys, we've got ourselves a little project to play with today. We'll make up a nice necklace. Maybe I'll be wearing that this evening, or maybe you're gonna love it so much that you're going to have to get it for yourself, right? So we're gonna grab some of this flex wire, and you know I'm into quick and easy, and this one is so easy in terms of the design. So you can see, just like my necklace, sometimes the components just all speak for itself. So whether it's the clasp that inspires you, whether it's that pendant that inspires you, or simply the beads. And then I find when I start looking in my stash, it all starts to kind of match. You know, I know sometimes we get to buying and you feel like, oh, I have so many things, but you know, there's so many different color palettes and you just never know what you will end up with, right? You get a new outfit and you know, this one threw a splash of blue in there, right? And you wouldn't normally put blue with your, you know, purple or something like that. So I don't normally tend to be gold, but every so often I am finding that I have been using a lot of gold here recently. Like today, for example, sometimes there's something gold does for things. See, I'm all in gold, but I also like the two-tone. Oh yeah, that does match my nail polish. Oh, we found a pearl that matches my nail polish perfect. Can you guys see that? It's fuzzy, but that's hilarious. Can be all the different things I can be known for on here. Let's see, the other day we were saying it's like being like the hairdresser. I'm the bead dresser. And it'll be the things that you check out when you want to see me online. What nail polish is she wearing? What necklace is she? Of course, what jewelry is she wearing? You know, I always like wearing my jewelry, but I've been feeling a little bit more pressure now that I have to go online every day and see you guys. So I've been digging out some of my things so that I can show them off to you guys, which has been kind of nice. Not all the things I have the components for, so I hate to tease you guys with things that I might not be able to get, but that's how it goes. You know, which is why we're doing these kind of things, is that some things aren't produced anymore. Like I can't get this button, which is why I can't make this clasp anymore. You know, there are certain stones like these pearls that I'm using right now. Like I haven't seen this good of color in a long time, which is actually why these came out of my personal stash. I was going through a few things and I wanted to use them, and I was hoping that maybe it would match something that we could work with today, and it did. All right, you guys, so freshwater pearls. So these are heat treated for the color, just to give you a little bit of what we're working with today. And these kind of flutter. So if you see that they're kind of, you know, flip-flopping everywhere, I like that look, which is why I'm not putting any bead in between it, is because I want to have that crazy flip-flop look. Sometimes in the designs in one of my bracelets, let's see if I still have it, you know, I had used the briolets and then did them in little groupings of 3. You could certainly do that with these pearls. But the more you spread out the pearls, the more they're going to sit in the same direction, which totally fine. You know, some people want that look, so they would put the beads in between. So let me kind of show you. So like if I'm spreading them out, see what happens to them. Okay, and you can see what kind of space you need in between wherever the string is in order for it to make it look like that. But for me, I like it tight, crazy, and wild. It may look funny on the strand right now, but when you wear it, it looks really, really good. On top of this color, looks really, really awesome. And I think then the gold is also going to really, really accent it beautifully. And for those of you guys that also know my taste, I tend to not have the cheapest taste either. I like those bold, bright, beautiful colors, and oftentimes they come with a pretty penny. Yeah, you got to get the real deal stuff though. These ones have a good size hole. So remember when you are stringing freshwater pearls and you're using the flex wire, this I'm using 0.019, I'm sorry, 0.014, which is the fine flex wire. Okay, this is the one where you can go through the pearl hole once, but you cannot go through it twice. Oh, Lynn, I just looked up and saw your question and I was answering it. Now, you know, the misconception is that pearls must be knotted, they must be on silk. That's a personal preference. You can see here right now that I bet my pearls are going to look just as good on this flex wire. And, you know, yes, you know, if I had maybe one pearl that cost a lot, I might not do the same things as I would with what I'm doing here. Okay, because sure, you can get this whole strand, you know, for like $150, or you can get one pearl for $150. So maybe I would treat that, you know, a little bit nicer since it's just the one, right? But a lot of what we're working with is why they call it semi-precious, right? You know, we're not into the fine diamonds, and you know, I find it surprising so many of the places you go into, right? And you'll pay $85 and you get brass and plastic or faux amber or whatever there is putting on it, and people are just excited to pay $85 after a discount and or whatever coupon they have, and they've got themselves an awesome new pair of earrings that have nothing real in them, given maybe the design is pretty good. Give it the opportunity. But for the most part, you know, I'm a pearl and gemstone person, so I'm always feel like those increase in value. This is a little bit graduated now that I'm looking at this, but that's okay. It'll be really nice and full looking. And I'm almost to the end, you guys. We gotta try to make it a quick show today because we got an evening ahead of us. And I think I'm gonna take a poll tonight, guys. I had something in mind for next Friday, but I'm getting options, and so maybe I thought I'd throw out a poll to you guys, see what you guys thought would be good, and I'd make an announcement. But for those of you guys that are new, because I know that there are some newbies out there, tonight is what we consider our Friday night live. This is kind of our little sip and shop social hour, or 2 hours or 3. You could vary, and hanging out and seeing what's new. So each week I like to concentrate on whatever it is we might be featuring on the Friday, and talk about it throughout the week. So last week, if you've been watching, we were doing buttons, and it was vintage glass buttons from Germany, and so we did a whole bunch of projects with buttons. So obviously that's why this week we are showing off the beautiful stars clasps and playing with all different types of clasps and talking about how to use them, how to pick some of the right ones, and some of the things you might look for. Okay, all strung up, you guys. All right, so now we are at the end. So the couple things I want to pull out, and I'm going to show you guys here. So this is going to be a good crimping or ending basics. Okay, right now I'm pulling out a couple things. I'm going to pull them out first, and then let me go over them here. Have that. Oh, there they are. Okay. I was hiding them on myself over here. Excellent. So I'm just grabbing the little tidbits here, and then we'll get this. Let's see. We need crimp, wire guards, clasp. And then I think I want, okay, we'll talk about this here in a second. We'll talk about it together as I'm going through it. All right, can you see me now? All right, now I did the whole necklace, the whole strand here, so that should be about 16 inches and then end up being about 18. Okay, all right guys, so what I have here in order to do this is we need some crimps. Okay, that's these little guys. All right, we seeing that? Okay, 2 little crimps. Okay, these are crimp covers, and these are wire guards. Okay, these are the 3 things we're going over to put on this big, beautiful, whoo, covers the whole screen, clasp. Okay, all right, this is what we need. All right, we're gonna zoom out so I can fit into the screen here. All right, first thing, I'm going to attach this side first. I like to do that because sometimes I need to make some adjustments on the bar side. So this side I know is usually going to stay the same. So on this end you can see that there's a little loop attachment. Okay, so all your closures should have some sort of place to attach it. You know, some might be more hidden than others, but there should be some sort of loop. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put on this, I'm using a 2x2 gold foiled crimp. Okay, I'm going to string through the clasp and I'm going to go back through the crimp. Are all my tools hiding in the bucket? Yeah. Can you? I love this clasp too. Don't worry, Evelyn, we carry it so you can add it to your staff. I need a crimping tool. I should have brought it with me.
Is it not in here?
All right, I'm not going to use a crimping tool today. We don't have to use one because I'm going to be covering it with a crimp cover anyway. So those are one of those secrets you can, you know. So we're going to do a quick oh no, I apologize. I was supposed to be doing more components here. Okay, so I'm going to do the crimp and then the wire guard, guys. So when I first started jewelry making, wire guards did not exist. So that's kind of why I'm a little bit out of the habit of using them. Okay, so you are going to go up one side, so you see you're through the crimp, and then going up one side of the wire guard, and then I'm going to go back down through. So we're looking at this horseshoe shape. Okay, so if you can see here, should look like so. So you see I'm pushing that wire through. Okay, this is where I need to attach my clasp before I go back through the crimp. Okay, and then you'll be able to pull everything tight. Okay, now see how it's hooked in there? And I like the wire guard in this instance, especially because the flex wire I'm using is a stainless steel color, so it's going to make everything look golden, especially since this is going to be a statement piece and most likely going to be worn in the front. Okay, so now we're going to go through the crimp here. So this might show better here when we do the other side, but here you'll see this is what it should look like before we crush. Okay, I'm going to take this and I am crushing, and I'm going to just crush this flat because I'm going to put a 4mm crimp cover over top of it. Okay, if you're using a crimping tool, which is that 2-part process, you can catch that in one of my other videos. You can then put a 3mm crimp cover, but in this case my beads are fairly large. Okay, so I had that kink. So one of the things I do know with using the fine is that most of the time I cannot go back through a second time on this pearl in order to have a tail come through. Okay, so that's what just makes it more important that this crimp is crushed, because this holds our entire world together. Okay, so go ahead, and I crushed it once. I like to flip it over and crush it again. Okay, so right now I know I'm going to cut this as close to the crimp as I can, because the pearls are going to come right up to there.
So pretty.
All right, looking good, you guys. We're liking that. And I love this color pearl.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
I don't know if you can get that anymore. Okay. Like I said, I actually got this out of my collection. All right, so now, because these are irregular, I'm making sure that I've pushed all the pearls down to that side, right? And I tend to like to hold it up. Like to hold it up and let it get the settling all down here. Okay, so this is what it's looking like, you guys. All right, and then I'm gonna, now I like to string right to my spool so that way I can save on wire. Sometimes I'm gonna decide it's gonna be longer or shorter. Okay, and that way you don't have to decide. All right, and we'll, your crimps seem to be coming apart, Evelyn. Okay, then I would say maybe you're not crushing hard enough. So when you are crimping, you want to make sure that your plier is only on the crimp and that you're not on any of your other beads on either side. Okay, sometimes then you might be end up crushing your beads on that side. The other thing is you may be crushing hard enough, but sometimes those plated crimps can be pretty stiff, and you gotta push them down really hard. Personally, that's why I like to use gold filled and sterling. The walls are a little bit thinner, and I feel like when they crush, they kind of meld around that wire, so getting it nice and secure and nice and tight. So, you know, I know that they cost a little bit more, but you know, if it's the thing that holds our entire world together, I really think that you should invest money in it. Okay, it's only a couple more dollars. There's a couple things you gotta, you know, spend your money in, and that's, you know, a good car. You spend a lot of time in your car, and a good bed. You need a good bed. We spend a third of our life in bed. All right, back to beautiful beads here. All right, so we just did this side, and now I'm going to get this. Did I lose my crimp?
It's right there.
Lost it under there. Okay, now one of the things when we're using toggles is that I'm not sure whether this is going to be able to pull through this with this bead here as close as it is. I might need to add some beads. I don't want to add beads if I don't have to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to test it. Okay? Because these are funky, these are kind of, you know, irregular, so it's kind of hard to gauge, you know? Some of it is trial and error. Okay, right now I'm not putting on the wire guard right because I want to just see if the bar will pull through without, oops, hook the bar in there. Okay. Oh, did I do it again? I did it twice. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to pull this down, and I want to see if, so this is good for all toggles, which is why I want to show a toggle today. Okay, so I want to make sure that I can pull this through. Okay, and you see how my beads are able to pull through? It's not able to do that all the time. If you cannot, then you may need to stick a few small beads on this end or a little bit of chain. So instead of crimping right to your toggle here, you would attach to a small link of chain This is some from leftover from yesterday. So just hook onto here and then hook the other end onto your bar. Hi Rita, thanks for joining us today. Okay, so it looks like it's gonna work. Okay, so I am now going to officially put on the wire guard that I'm sending flying. Okay, up one side, down the other for the wire guard. Then we're gonna attach the bar. Okay, and then go through the crimp. And there I go, catching that clasp again, I think.
That bar.
Look at that. Doesn't want to work with me here today. All right, so you'll see that that kind of splays open on that wire guard. So I'm going to pinch this close because I want it to be rounded. Okay, and it'll make it easier for me to pull this tight. Okay. So this is making it look more finished, and you can see that I was pushing down and I wanted to try to get all the slack out. Okay, so looking pretty good, right guys? Not bad. All right, here's those little fine tip pliers I love. Okay, because you can see it's not always easy getting at this angle, and especially these pearls because they are not even. Okay, so I'm going to crush, and then I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to crush again. Okay, and Evelyn, if you're still with me there, okay, when we're kind of looking at it from the side, you kind of want to see that there's no black air, you know, kind of hole going through there, right? You wanna see that that has been pushed tight and close, which is why I flip it over and crush it again. And now I'm going to cut really close. Okay, and technically that's all you have to do, but you know, we're doing the professional way to do things here, okay? So this is the ginkgo leaf. You can see how it lays perfect into there. Okay, but I'm going to put some little crimp covers onto it too, okay? Just to really make it look finished. All right. So crimp covers, the trickiest thing I find is trying to get it to hold everything in place. Okay, so I tend to like to be pushing up on the crimp cover so it's facing just as you see here. Okay, you'll see I'm holding down each side of the necklace or bracelet. Okay, so that all the pressure is going straight up so that this crimp cover will stay sticking straight up. Okay, this is why I'm going to take some chain nose pliers. Okay, and I'm going to squeeze this closed. Okay, now if you're, can we see what I'm doing at all? I can zoom in here. Okay, and you want to squeeze this real gently because our goal is to have a round looking bead. We're not looking to crush another crimp. Okay, so you see that as we're working that. Okay, don't have it quite closed yet. I find sometimes this tends to pucker, so I've got to push one side and then I've got to change to the other side and kind of push and keep going back and forth. Okay? Okay. I don't think that edge is closed completely. There we go. All right, so we now have ourselves a rounded little bead. Crimp covered, wire guarded. Okay. We're zoomed in. That's how big it really is. And even that probably looks big. Okay, so I'm gonna do that on the other side.
Nice.
That's exactly what's gonna happen. They go flying. Alright, so there we got it. Oh! It's like a little Pac-Man eating that crimp. And the pearls are not exactly, you know, flush. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can get it started at this angle, because this pearl is getting in my way.
Go that way. Yeah.
And when we are crimping, which is what I think I might have done here, is that you do want to leave probably like a millimeter of space on each side, so that when you close this, because the crimp cover does have a particular thickness of its walls, okay, so it needs space. And see, I've done such a good crimping job that I didn't leave any space for the crimp cover as I was doing the wire guards. And so I'm afraid of putting too much tension on here, but we're gonna see what I can work out here, because it may be just my angle right now. I think we finagled something here.
Nice.
And hopefully you can still see it. We got a good view on that first one. Not bad for live streaming, you guys. All right, so we've got the wire guard, we've got the crimp cover on both sides.
Ta-da.
Okay, so dun da da da, and we've got ourselves a brand new design. All right, shall we see what it looks like on?
Yeah, where?
All right, let's check it out, you guys. I'll take off this one and we'll see what this other one looks like here. Okie dokie. All right, who wants this one?
Everyone.
I don't know, this might be hard. I don't know that I want to give this one up either.
Yeah.
That's how I felt about yesterday's. I don't know that I want to give it up. All right. So, Pearl, you can sit on the side. You can see that beautiful clasp. Bum, ba, da, bum. What do we think? All right. Anybody who has to have this, you'll have to let me know, okay? Because there's only one, and I can't get this color pearl anymore. It's really, really gorgeous. I might show off a few strands here tonight too, so make sure you guys join me. All right, that's it for Bead With Me here today. Thanks so much for joining me all week, all these last few weeks. I've been learning a whole lot, and it's been really enjoyable meeting people past our Virginia area and catching up with those that have moved away. So I really appreciate the support. We'll be back on again next week at 2 o'clock on every weekday, Monday through Friday. We do still have our virtual hours, so if you are interested in doing a video chat, feel free to message us. You can message us pretty much 7 days a week. We just have our virtual hours from 12 to 3, Monday through Friday. But otherwise, we try to work with you in terms of time, okay? We are not an online store, but we do virtual hours as our way of being a virtually online store, right? So if you are also not familiar, we will also be going back on again live tonight at 8 p.m. We are going to be showcasing Use Clasps, and if you don't really know what a Friday night live is, you can check some of the replays from the last couple Friday nights, but there are going to be giveaways, there's oftentimes freebies, and there's a lot of great deals, a lot of beautiful things. We oftentimes are getting exclusive rights to some of these items, and so we get some of the largest selections or the best deal, or whatever it is we find. It's part of the treasure hunting, okay? So we have spent years and years, I guess I've been doing this for over 30 years of finding the best components all over the world to bring to you guys, okay? And showing you how to play with them and what makes them so special, okay? So hopefully we'll see you guys tonight. Bottle of wine. Thank you for all those couple bottles of wine I've got this week so that I can be prepared for the next couple Friday nights. I look forward to it. We'll see you tonight, 8 p.m., Facebook Live, or next week, 2 o'clock. Have a great weekend, you guys. Hopefully it'll be nice.